that's now regarding loading and unloading a bell to a goblet position. This is specifically as you get heavier in weight. It's harder for your arms to try to bring that bell up than it is for your legs. So there's some strategies that you can use to implement some skill, to develop momentum, and help in assistance of getting that bell up to this goblet position. There's a few different ways. These aren't the only ways, but I'm just going to go over a couple variations for both the kettlebell and the dumbbell. Let's start with the kettlebell. The first option that we're going to do is off of the box. So you can actually get down into a goblet position, elevate the bell somehow by just, say, hauling it over and tossing it on the box like so, and then that's going to give you a little bit of a assistance getting the bell to the chest. So you can actually come down to the bell and bring it to that goblet position right under the chin in front of the sternum. Okay, so that's an option if you have the ability to elevate the bell. If not, if you're going from the floor, there's some strategy that you can use here. So instead of just trying to basically curl it up like this, like a lot of people will just be like, they try to pull it up. What you can do is, it's called a pull catch. It's essentially the first technique point in a high pull. Sorry, my neighbor's mowing his lawn. So all you're gonna do is implement the deadlift, kettlebell deadlift, with a lot of speed driving upwards. That momentum that you create with your legs is going to go through the bell, and it's going to make the bell come up higher than it normally would if you were to lift it slowly. So you're essentially using your legs with that jumping force to get that bell all the way up here, so then all you have to do is just turn over your hands. So if anybody knows Olympic lifting, this is basically that teaching point from the high pull to power clean, where you're really creating that upward drive that then boop, 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 the momentum brings it up, and all you're doing as that bar is weightless and continuing to get higher in the air from that load you put under it, you're just coming underneath the bar, or the weight in this case, and catching. So you're just getting into a prepared catching stance. So it looks like this in full speed. So all I'm really doing is just using my legs to generate that jumping force that then allows me to just move my arms weightlessly into the place that they need to be to catch the bell. That's the only skill part, really, other than the explosive drive part at the beginning of the deadlift. Just getting through the bell with your legs and your core enough to generate that force high enough, far enough, great enough to bring that bell all the way up effortlessly. But all it is that number one, and then as the bell rises, or the bar, you just flip under and catch. Soft knee stance, butt goes back, chest stays up, and you're right there in your rack position. So that's your first option with the bell, is a pull catch. Okay, or second, I should say, after the box. This is your first from the floor. Okay, you really can create good upward drive. That still works with heavier weight, but I'll demonstrate the limiting factor here. I can only create so much momentum from the floor upward in just one movement. So the heavier this gets, I'm gonna eventually hit a bottleneck of how much this weighs. I can only use that technique so much. So from there, when you get to that point that's too heavy, what you do is you add a swing pattern. Now we go to the swing plus the catch into the goblet position. So essentially all we do is we use that same technique that we did with the pull catch, where we, once coming all the way through the hips, we have extended all of our momentum into the bell, then, or the object, whatever, sandbag, doesn't matter what you do, you're putting force into that object, allowing that momentum to keep it continuing, that upward momentum, that drive, and then we just soften ourselves quickly into a position where we can receive that load again with a good spine. We don't want to catch it down here, right, rounding the back. We want to, okay, that rack position where we're driving our chest, our elbows up to make sure that we're engaging all the muscles we need to keep that spine in that good position. So from here, swing. Okay, so you get the opportunity to use more of that swinging momentum through the bell. So I can do the big bell a lot easier. Just an example, you will be able to see this likely more so than with the 53. From here, okay, I'm a little close, right? I gotta step back, get into my height position. Okay, the bigger bell is usually, you gotta step back a little more because they roll halfway over. Okay, from here. Okay, that's all hips. Very smooth, very easy transition. Okay, I don't have to do a lot to get that bell up in that position. From here, as dead weight. Oof. Okay, I'm exaggerating the breath out, but I'm exerting much more effort, and especially when you're doing something like a circuit, and you need to save that energy, you want to most efficiently use that energy where you want it to go, which is the reps of the exercise, not the loading and the unloading part. If you can save yourself energy by improving your skill, by improving your technique between sets, you're essentially going to be able to get your work done faster because of the skill and the efficiency, so you won't be using as much energy. Or you could use that extra energy to increase the amount of weight that you're using, the intensity. So the better the skill, the more effective the exercise becomes, and the better capacity you build to increase the weight that you use. So skill, economic efficiency, this is a very big conversation, especially in elite performance, is the little movements of the arms, how you breathe through the workouts, you'll notice. All of that matters. So that's the idea. The better the technique, the faster you can improve your progress through your strength training career. It's the long-term game. Now we can implement a couple of those same strategies with the bell. So the first one being, dumbbell that is, the first one being is just off the bench. The higher it is, the easier it is. We can come under here, find that goblet position, and bring it up this way. So that's option one. Okay, we can also deadlift this exactly the same as the bell for a pull catch, except it's just a different hand position through the transition. So we have the bell vertical. It's actually easier because it's higher off the ground than the handle is of the kettlebell. So you can, and especially the bigger the dumbbell gets, the more it goes this way too. Okay. Okay, so again, it's just about skill of transition with the hand placement. So don't go super heavy at first. Just practice like anything else. You don't pick up 6 tennis balls and master juggling immediately. You start with 2, you start with 3, you start with 4. You build as you go. So same idea here. Just work on the skill of that transition. Okay, it's all legs. All I'm doing with my arms is just moving them into the position they need to be to receive the weight that I put up in the air with my legs. Okay, so you can swing catch this too, especially as it gets heavier, but it's just the dumbbell itself transitioning up to the squat position, the front rack position, is less efficient. It's less comfortable. The swing is nice. It's got a good rhythm to it. When you get a big 100-pound bell, it's not quite as easy to maneuver as the kettlebell, but I guess it's really just a preference thing. But Ally has a 35, so I don't really have a good demo for you on what a big dumbbell swing catch would look like. But it's the same idea. Again, we go, the dumbbell's a little different for our swing, so I'll just go over a dumbbell hike, and then a swing, and then to the catch at the top. So same idea, we tilt it down a little bit, pull the lats in. Okay, so it's again just a different transition with the hands, but in my experience, I personally prefer kettlebells because the heavier the dumbbell gets, the more awkward it gets, but personal preference. Okay, so those are different ways to load and unload the bell from the ground or an elevated surface to that catch position. Shabam!